Here we're going to have Encik Aiman to have better understanding about Hajj and lembaga tabung haji. So, what is Hajj about? Hajj is a compulsory ibadah for Muslim who has met all the condition. I will explain more detail about Hajj condition after this in the next slide. Hajj is one of the pillar of Islam. Every Muslim must have intention to perform Hajj when they fulfill all the condition. If not, they may receive the punishment at the end of the day during hereafter. As we know, Hajj required certain amount of money. So, saving plan is so important. In this presentation, we will show Encik Aiman on how to have enough saving for Hajj. Hajj is one in lifetime duty. It is a form of sacrifice and test. Person who perform for Hajj will not going to be poor. The condition of Hajj need to be fulfilled are Muslim, because Hajj is the religion duties that must be performed by all Muslims in order to let it be accepted by Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Next is mature and saints. This is because insane or kids are lack of ability to differentiate between right and wrong things. After that, woman must travel with her husband or mahram. For this condition, Encik Aiman may skip it due to he is a man. Lastly is have sufficient money. It is very important for each Muslim who going to perform Hajj have stable financial. Where if Encik Aiman have wife or kids that he will live while he perform his Hajj, he must make sure that his kid and wife have enough money to survive. That is why Hajj is an obligation for those who have stable financial only. Lembaga Tabung Haji is an Islamic institution that continuously strives to provide various facilities which are comprehensive and systematic for the welfare of Malaysian Hajj pilgrim. Besides halal saving and efficient Hajj operation management, Tabung Haji also manage investment transactions to add value to their depositor. Vision of Lembaga Tabung Haji, which are the pillar of the Ummah economic success and they are excellent in Hajj management. In order to achieve TH vision, they are pledged to strengthen the economy of Ummah, to consolidate and enrich depositors' funds, and to continuously provide excellent service. Prior to the establishment of Lembaga Tabung Haji, there was no Islamic financial institution that provide service to the Muslim in this country to save for Hajj expenses. Even though several banks were already operating, the Muslims were reluctant to use conventional banking for their Hajj saving because they wanted to ensure that their Hajj saving were free from riba in order to attain a mabrur Hajj.
Okay, I will explain about opening account for Hajj. In Malaysia, if Encik Aiman want to go for Hajj, he must register with Lembaga Tabung Haji, and it can be done at any Tabung Haji counters with several conditions. First, Encik Aiman is a Muslim. Second, he is Malaysian citizen or permanent resident. Third, he maintain minimum amount of RM2 Malaysia. Fourth, identity card, and last, birth certificate for age below 12 years old. Okay. Second is registration. The registration can be made when the account reaches RM1,300 Malaysia and have not performed it for the last 5 years. This will normally take several years. Therefore, it is advisable to register for Hajj earlier. Okay. Third is the depositing of money can be by cash deposit directly at Lembaga Tabung Haji offices or selected banks. Okay, last, salary deduction for employee is more convenient and limited to account in tabung haji. Expenses and costs for Hajj. Okay, expenses for Hajj refer to direct costs which are organized and paid by lembaga tabung haji, such as flight, transportation, accommodation in Mecca and Medina, meals, visa and health services. Okay, costs for Hajj. Okay, there are two pilgrims category, whether the individual have performed Hajj before or it is first time perform Hajj. Okay, if Encik Aiman first time performing Hajj, the cost is 22,900 ringgit Malaysia and subsidy from the Lembaga Tabung Haji is 12,920 ringgit Malaysia, and the Hajj payment that Encik Aiman need to pay is 9,980 ringgit Malaysia. Okay, what is Hajj payment? Hajj payment is a amount that Encik Aiman need to pay to be able to perform Hajj in that particular year. Okay. Second, if Encik Aiman have performed Hajj before, the cost is same as first time perform Hajj, which is 22,900 ringgit Malaysia, and there is no subsidy from Lembaga Tabung Haji. Therefore, the Hajj payment that Encik Aiman need to pay is 22,900 ringgit Malaysia, which is more expensive for first time perform Hajj.
EPF Hajj Registration Scheme. Lembaga Tabung Haji also provide the Hajj EPF scheme facility to their customers. Let me explain about it. Through EPF's Hajj Registration Scheme, Tabung Haji depositor are required to submit their identity card and the EPF statement when they want to register for Hajj, as well as for the EPF member who have previously registered for Hajj can convert it to the EPF Hajj registration scheme by submitting documents that I have mentioned earlier. EPF member who are eligible to participate in this scheme must meet the following conditions. First, a Malaysian. Second, a Muslim. Third, the minimum EPF saving must at least 1,300, and the last one is requirement age for the EPF scheme. This Hajj EPF scheme is between 14 until 55 years old. Pilgrims Fund Board. As an introduction of Pilgrim Fund Board, it was initiated by Royal Professor Unku Abdul Aziz through his paper titled A Plan to Improve of the Economic Positions of Future Pilgrims. This proposal was submitted to government in 1959 and recommended that saving for Hajj purposes must not tainted with riba element but still yield profit. Then in August 1969, the proposal was set up by a statute to promote and coordinate activity that related to pilgrimage management. Okay, next we look at the Pilgrims Fund Board objectives. Using this Pilgrim Fund Board, Muslims are enabled to accumulate Sharia compliant saving and to use them for their expenses in performing the pilgrimage. Second, to provide for the protections, control and welfare of Muslims during pilgrimage. They can use the various facilities and services that provided by the PFB, which is Pilgrim Fund Board. Pilgrim Fund Board also is empowered to implement two financial activities. PFB responsible to collect interest-free saving and to invest it in accordance with the investment principles and also tenets of Islam.
Saving for Hajj. Why do we need to have a saving plan to do the Hajj? Performing Hajj is not just about spiritually prepared, but also financially sufficient. Undertaking the Hajj is not cheap, and it is a major financial commitment. Many travel agents say that costs have risen significantly in recent years. But Islam does not encourage Muslims to borrow money from others to perform Hajj. That's why we are encouraged to save and invest for these expenses because only Muslims who are financially able are required to carry it out. In this saving planning, the concept of time value of money need to be understood. In Hajj planning, there are two important questions need to be considered. The first one is, if we keep a certain amount of money starting from now for a certain number of years, how much will it become in a specific future date? This question relates to the future value. Meanwhile, if the cost of Hajj in the specific future date is estimated to be for a specific amount, how much should we keep now to go on that specific date? Is related to present value annuity. From this question, we need to know the concept of present value and future value of money. Future value is our ending amount at a point in time in the future. It should be worth more than the present value. The present value of an annuity refers to how much money would be needed today to fund a series of future annuity payments. So, it will involve variables such as amount deposited, period of saving, and the rate of return. This element will help us to plan for the financial of Hajj. This question reflects Encik Aiman's situation. Encik Aiman aims to make a deposit of RM800 per year into his LTH account and plans to maintain a deposit for 15 years before he go for Hajj. The current cost of Hajj is RM10,000. Lembaga Tabung Haji distributes an average of 4% rate of return. So we need to determine if the saving is enough to cover Encik Aiman's cost for Hajj in 15 years. Firstly, total saving of Encik Aiman can be defined by using the formula of amount of deposited times by future value annuity of 4% 15 years. So the amount of saving that Encik Aiman will get after 15 years is RM60,019.20. Would the saving is enough for him? To answer it, the next step is finding the cost of Hajj. By using the cost of Hajj of RM10,000 multiplied by future value of 4% 15 years, we will get RM18,009. We can conclude that the total saving is not enough to cover the cost of Hajj. So, the last step is we need to determine the amount of Encik Aiman need to save every year to accommodate the cost of Hajj when the time comes. The cost of Hajj, RM18,009 divided by future value annuity 4% 15 years, which is equal to RM899.37. So, that is the exact total amount that Encik Aiman need to save annually to make sure that he can go for Hajj in 50 years.
The benefit that Encik Aiman get from saving at Lembaga Tabung Haji are: number 1, Syariah compliance. Deposit in Tabung Haji are based on wakalah concept, which means an act of one person appointing another party as one representative to handle one's affair.
Secondly, Lembaga Tabung Haji provide the competitive dividend to the depositors. The return on investment is relatively safe, with reasonable rate which is comparable with other equivalent risk investment instruments.
The third benefit, zakat is paid on behalf of account holder. Unlike other instruments, Lembaga Tabung Haji makes zakat payment on behalf of the account holder to reduce the trouble of performing zakat payment among Muslims. The distribution of profits to the depositor is after taking into account zakat payment. So, Tabung Haji depositor will no longer have to pay zakat on the saving and profit distribution received. This is accordance to the decision made in the 17th National Fatwa Committee on Islamic Religious Affairs Malaysia on 3 May 1979.
The last benefits for savings in Lembaga Tabung Haji is withdrawals are allowed. Account holders may withdraw cash at any amount as long as he or she maintains the minimum amount of 1,300 ringgit Malaysia to go for Hajj.